So every time Deion Sanders' name starts trending, Emmanuel Acho finds a way to get his name inserted.
Yo, there's so much to talk about in the speakeasy tonight. Number one, Steven Jackson tried to come at me, so I got to respond back to him and let him know.
Colorado hasn't been a well-coached football team under Deion Sanders. They've been an incredibly exciting
Public service announcement. Deion Sanders can coach. It's no longer just sizzle. It's official.
since USC in the early 2000s. But as far as a well-coached football team, Colorado hasn't been that. And I love college football. 30 yards rushing. If we're just being honest about Prime, incredible marketer, incredible leader, incredible man. But the Colorado coaching has just not been good enough.
Public service announcement. Deion Sanders can coach. It's no longer just sizzle. It's official.
A century, and you said that was hate because I said that they're not a well-coached football team? Like, are we not allowed to speak the truth anymore? All of a sudden, if somebody says something that's truthful and you disagree with that truth, now they're a hater.
Public service announcement. Deion Sanders can coach. It's no longer just sizzle. It's official.
Why didn't Shador get drafted in the first round? Number one, he didn't code switch. What do I mean he didn't code switch? Shador Sanders did not change his identity or how he comes off. He did not change how he comes off for the sake of the decision makers. And who are decision makers in the National Football League? Primarily non-minorities, primarily white people. He did not code switch.
Yo, there's so much to talk about in the speakeasy tonight. Number one,
We got to talk about this and we got to break it down the right way. A lot of people are actually defending Emmanuel Acho. And if you don't look at my receipts, you're going to be like, maybe Acho was correct. But we got to expose him, and you know what we do here. We do it the best. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm DJ Bless One, the best one. Thank you for watching another episode of I Smoke Hip Hop Live. Smash that like button. Hit that notification bell. I need my theme song.
Heart been broke so many times, I don't know what to believe. Mama say it's my fault, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Niggas bless up on my
So as of recent, you guys know I get my stitch at exposing certain stepping fetchings or whatever. I even got a song dedicated to Emmanuel Acho. Lately, Emmanuel Acho been trying to acquiesce towards the community because he needed us after getting fired. So you guys know what's crazy is that every time Deion Sanders' name starts to trend, Emmanuel Acho, I'm going to say Acho, he finds a way to insert himself into the conversation and make you feel like what he says is coming from a good place. It's not scripted. There's no malice in what he says when he speaks on these issues, but it's certainly malice. It's nothing but malice coming from Emmanuel Acho, and I'm here to talk about it and expose it because at the end of the day, he's out here disrespecting Coach Prime again. He's saying that Deion Sanders isn't a good coach, just a great marketer and promoter. Now, the problem right there is a lot. I'm going to go ahead and talk about it, but I want you to listen to what Emmanuel has.
Why didn't Shador get drafted in the first round?
My bad, y'all, because
Now I got to address something, Steven.
this is what he posts up right here. Deion's not coaching. He's just marketing. I'm going to tell you guys on so many levels why this is disrespectful, and it's going to make sense. Just give me a chance. Even if you feel like you disagree with me, give me a chance. Now, Deion Sanders' name is being thrown out there. So Steven Jackson said, how many coaches get off the great starts that's not at Power 5 programs? The hate is real, bro. It's other coaches that's doing worse than Prime, but they ain't the topic to bring viewers. I get it. We don't do that. That wonder why we lapping niggas. So I agree somewhat with Steven Jackson, and I'm gonna get into it. But listen, let's show the full context and be fair to Emmanuel Acho. This is what he said in full context.
Colorado hasn't been a well-coached football team under Deion Sanders. They've been an incredibly exciting football team.
Yeah.
Shador Sanders went crazy. Travis Hunter went crazy. You know what I'm saying? Had a hella receivers. Horn went crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Deion Sanders for both recruiting those players and luring those players into Colorado. Shout out to Deion Sanders for creating the most exciting program in Colorado. Shout out to Deion Sanders for exceeding academic expectations that we haven't seen Colorado do in 20 years. Shout out to Deion Sanders for creating more buzz of a college football program than we've seen since USC in the early 2000s. But as far as a well-coached football team, Colorado hasn't been that. And I love college football. I go back to, remember, Colorado versus Kansas last year. Kansas ran for 326 yards against Colorado. Kansas Jayhawks versus Colorado. Colorado had the Big 12 conference championship game at stake. Kansas went crazy running the ball. But Colorado's just not a very good coach football team. 330 yards rushing. If we're just being honest about Prime, incredible marketer, incredible leader, incredible man. But the Colorado coaching has just not been good enough. Colorado hasn't been.
That's actually a disrespectful way, and it's a slight going at Coach Prime. See, that's the problem right here. The media always tries to minimize greatness when it comes to a confident black man leading with a purpose. Instead of recognizing how Coach Prime turned Colorado into a national brand, they call it hype. Instead of acknowledging how he built discipline and exposure while making the academics from academia being the main prominent figure over there at Boulder, they say it's marketing. And you're probably thinking, well, he gave props to Coach Prime. No, he didn't. Emmanuel Acho has a long history of this behavior. He's always found slick ways to throw shade at Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, and the Colorado football program. He talks good about them only when it benefits his algorithm. When he needs clicks, when he needs engagement, it's basically at a low point when he tries to rebuild the credibility that he lost with the same people he's hating and also trying to cater towards. It's a formula. Speak negative about Deion, then pivot with a fake positive take when you get backlash. So what am I saying? Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of coaches who have done horrible in college football. If we're being fair, Dabo Swinney, yet he scathed away from the facts that when you don't have 5 stars, you don't have 4-star players, you can't coach at all. But is his coaching acumen ever questioned? Negative. It's only with us. I can keep going. Luke Fickell over there at Wisconsin. He also coached at Northwestern. These are coaches who are supposedly by far supposed to be better than Coach Deion Sanders, who's been coaching each over 30 years each at this level, and they're coaching horrible, especially Dabo Swinney, and they get passes. In fact, Luke Fickell is getting to keep his job. He's not even in a fire seat position. Wisconsin said we're keeping him. But we can go on and on how many coaches have been doing way bad. You can go to Nebraska and Matt Rule. I can keep on going. Why isn't that looked as bad coaching? When Chip Kelly got fired, you didn't say he's a bad coach. You guys barely talked about him. You said he's not managing it right. You're claiming what other jobs are going to give him a chance. That's what you guys do with other coaches. You don't practice the same talking points. And with Emmanuel Acho, he's the same guy who told us Coach Prime is a great coach. You guys don't remember that? Listen.
Public service announcement. Deion Sanders can coach. It's no longer just sizzle. It's officially substance.
It's no longer just sizzle. It's officially substance. That's the same guy who's now spewing this rhetoric about Coach Prime, and he can't coach good at all. This guy.
Public service announcement. Deion Sanders can coach. It's no longer just sizzle. It's officially substance.
You guys got to know when it comes to a lot of these people in our world, you got to know who they are. Listen, when he needs clicks and engagement, that's who Emmanuel Acho is. Let's be real. Acho doesn't move like a man who wants to uplift his community. He moves like somebody trying to please the same system that doesn't want to see confident black men win. Notice this, Emmanuel Acho, whatever his name is, he never calls out non-black coaches who have way worse winning records. Does he talk about them? Does he criticize them? Yes, he does that. But notice the things he criticized them about. He never engages and goes through a wide range of conversations dealing with someone's IQ level, because that's basically what you're saying when you're saying Coach Prime can't coach. Why not say Coach Prime, he failed this year? I can raise my hand. I criticized Deion Sanders this year. Bad leadership this year. We can say that. But why say all of a sudden he can't coach? Why not go in depth and criticize Robert Livingston, the defensive coordinator? Why not criticize Pat Schumer? But these guys get scathed away, much very like Sean Lewis when he did an agent-like behavior and he got scathed away and people said he was the better coach, not Deion. Then Sean Lewis went to San Diego State, and what did we get from it? A mere nothing. He was a mere mortal, not the things you guys blew him up to be. Now, Jackson responded to Acho and said, how many coaches, blah, 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 we got that. Here's why I agree with him. Everything I threw out there are sensible and it makes sense. Now, Emmanuel Acho responded to Jackson and he went through the, everybody coming at me again. I'm the innocent guy here. And the villain when he tries to placate good. This is what he had to say to Steven Jackson.
Now I got to address something Steven Jackson said to me real quick. Now, first off, Stack, it's love, but God, dog, don't y'all get tired of looking for reasons to be mad? You said that I'm a hater because I said Colorado's not a well-coached football team. They gave up 56 points in conference and 400 yards rushing. Deion Sanders would say they're not a well-coached football team. Furthermore, I said shout out to Deion Sanders for both recruiting those players and luring those players into Colorado. Shout out to Deion Sanders for creating the most exciting program in Colorado. Shout out to Deion.
You did say he can't coach. You did disrespect Deion Sanders. You took it to the utmost stereotypical, outdated format, which is judging us in our skill ship. Why not stick with it's a bad football team this year? You know what you went towards and you knew what type of talking points to do. Because once again, I say to all of you guys, how come these talking points aren't talked about non-black coaches? And we state that to you, Emmanuel Acho. Why not just stick with Colorado is bad this year? You went deeper to what can get you tracking. We all know why you guys do it. You went through the rating aspects of this.
How in the world does everybody wake up looking for a reason to be mad? That's what infuriates me. Steven Jackson, you heard me say Deion Sanders is an incredible marketer, an incredible leader, an incredible man.
You gave him a lot of
heard me
praise.
say that Deion Sanders has done stuff academically for Colorado that hasn't been done in 20 years. You heard me say that Deion Sanders has created more buzz at Colorado than any...
We don't care. We don't need you to tell us Deion Sanders created more buzz and all that. These are the typical talking points of no other than who you used to work for and who your brother works for, ESPN. This is what you guys do. You step in fetching Chicken George's. You'll play a format where, look, I gave him props. That's a backhand compliment. And you're an intelligent brother who went to Texas University. You know very well that's a backhand compliment you just gave Deion Sanders because you knew you were going to make room for the real thing you wanted to say, which he can't coach. So you'll say, look, Deion, he's a good recruiter. He's a good marketer, but he's not a good coach. That is a spit in the face. That's just like when we were trying to be in the military. We're good cooks. We're good at sweeping, but we're not good aviation pilots, even though the Tuskegee Airmen debunked that myth decades ago and upon decades ago. The very same factors you don't use against coaches like Mike Norvell at Florida State. Billy Napier coaching credibility has never been judged. Even finally after he got fired, which he should have been fired 4 years ago, he's never been judged could he coach or not. And this guy's been coaching 20-something years. None of these coaches ever gets in depth about their actual coaching abilities. You guys talk about all the other circumstances. So why not use Colorado football and talk about all the other circumstances? Then you use the stat from last year, even though it was a winning football season, you wanted to bring up Kansas State rushed over for 300 yards on Colorado. Okay, they got a bad defensive coordinator. Do you know Coach Prime allows his coaches to coach? He's not Kevin Stefanski, who doesn't allow his offensive coordinators to coach. Coach Prime lets them coach. So you can say Coach Prime is not managing the team good. He's not being a good leader. And I concur with you because he should have fired those said-so coaches. But you put that on Coach Prime as if he's actually doing the X's and O's. And it's embarrassing when brothers do the Chicken George routine.
More than $2,000. I could have bought free sooner if I was just a field hand. But trainers are fighting chickens. Well, like you and me, George. We cost the most. Now, that old no-account master of yours, do he ever share the winnings with you? And you can do it too, George. Penny.
You tried to do that when your massa Fox Sports fired you. Thank God you saved enough money so you got your own platform now and you're going brazy on that platform. But I think you're still governed by other people because even if you're independent, stepping fetchings like you can do the Charlie Kirk routine and gather an audience, a certain base audience that don't like us. Everybody know the stitch. You talk bad about black folks and there you have it. A new platform is born where people would come in droves to support you. You're a passive aggressive bitch.
Why didn't Shador get drafted in the first round? Number one, he didn't code switch. What do I mean he didn't code switch? Shador Sanders did not change his identity or how he comes off. He did not change how he comes off for the sake of the decision makers. And who are decision makers in the National Football League? Primarily non-minorities, primarily white people. He did not code switch. He stayed true to Shador. I played with the dude, and Shady's talked about this before on one of his podcasts, a dude named Rock Carmichael. He played defensive back for the Eagles. Rock Carmichael was told, you need to cut your hair while being in the NFL. Because the picture of him on the far right was how he showed up to the Philadelphia Eagles. But the picture of him on the left was his team photo before he left the Philadelphia Eagles. It wasn't Rock's choice or Rock's doing. These are just true stories in the National Football League, y'all. That's just all I'm trying to tell y'all. So when I suggest Shador didn't code switch, Shador did not make himself more palatable to the decision makers in the NFL. Crazy. The second reason, his confidence, I believe, it exceeded his perceived ability. That's just real. Y'all ain't gonna like everything I'm saying. It's just real. What do I mean by that? Shador Sanders, he didn't work out at the Senior Bowl. He didn't work out at the NFL Combine because he perceived that he didn't have to do that. Well, who else hasn't done that? Cam Ward, but he got drafted in the first round. Jaden Daniels.
I got to turn this stepping fetching off. I told you guys, I'm the best at it. I'm DJ Bless One, the best one. What I just broke down is how he'll swoop in as if he's a brother and being fair. But he does that to coddle you guys, to draw you in, and then he comes with the typical stepping fetching outlandish takes. So now it's Shador choosing not to work out because Shador perceived himself too good for it. But that's not the case at all. Just like it's no difference than any guys who got picked in the first round or top pick who choose not to go to the workouts. But Emmanuel Acho is making it to be perceived something different, as if Shador is an issue and a problem. No different than a Chris Carter and a Bomani Jones. No wonder Jason Whitlock today is glorifying Bomani Jones and Emmanuel Acho. I'm showing you all, and that was last year, ladies and gentlemen. Well, this year, at the start of this year, after the draft. It's just to show you how Emmanuel moves and swoops around as a snake. He's never been a genuine person. He'll always find a way to make it come back. Whatever slanders they say about us, we're the problem, and we have to acquiesce to said so people denigrating us. That's who he is. He is not going to stop being a Chicken George.
Save up.
Got my wife, Tildy, Mama, Kizzy, and 2 youngins. Likes to bring them presents. And that takes a lot of money.
Presents, huh? And, fine clothes for yourself? Stuff like that?
I'm a sporting man, Marcellus. Now, sporting men got their ways.
Let's be on our way, Marcellus.
Gonna be on massa.
And that's the best part, George, being free. Can't nothing be better than that.
You hear that, Emmanuel Acho? Being free, can't nothing be better than that. And I only come with facts and stats because, once again, you're the same guy who continued to propagate this hate. Remember, you said this right here, sir. I keep receipts. There was an article when you said, well, Emmanuel Acho took a direct shot at Deion Sanders for his supportive reply while chatting on his podcast. You commented about his coaching. Basically, your question is IQ. Look, I got it more deeply rooted here. You guys can pause and read all those I just put up there. I only put receipts. In 2024, he can coach. 2025, Coach Prime can't coach.
Hey, you, come here. Public service announcement. Deion Sanders can coach. It's no longer just sizzle. It's officially substance.
What are we doing here? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm done with these stepping fetchings. You can have them because the rest It's just the rest. Don't never forget that. I want you guys to remember you'll never see him going viral criticizing those Power 5 coaches who keep failing upwards. The ones who get rehired after years after losing, just losing seasons over and over, and they get hired and they even get propped up by these conglomerates like ESPN. Where's that same energy for them, Emmanuel Acho? It's selective criticism based on who gets the most click. Deion is held to a higher standard simply because his confidence and his charisma shines too bright. The truth is, Coach Prime has brought more attention and recruits and money to college football than half of the coaches in the country combined. We know these are stats that can't be broken. So my final point I just wanted to bring awareness to you guys is that Emmanuel Acho's problem isn't really with Deion Sanders coaching. It's with the influence that Deion Sanders represents, something that Emmanuel couldn't bring, something that he wanted. See, Deion got the attention of the collective of the non-melanated communities just by being himself. Emmanuel Acho tried to be himself and he failed, so he has to acquiesce. Listen, because with Emmanuel Acho, it's more of because when a black man like Coach Prime changes culture, shifts the media narratives about him, and brings real value to a program that's in Boulder that needed that type of change, people like Emmanuel Acho and Bumani, whatever his name is, they get uncomfortable, guys. And now that he's no longer at Fox Sports because he got fired, whatever, because the fiasco with Joy Taylor, whatever it could be, he's scrambling to stay relevant by clout chasing off of the Sanders name. It's transparent. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. That's all it ever is. And at the end of the day, Coach Prime's results speak louder than HO recycling old talking points, outdated stereotypical rhetoric. And if Emmanuel Acho really cared about uplifting black excellence, he wouldn't tear down one of the few figures who's actually changing the game. Look, guys, I'm DJ Bless One, the best one. Love your family, love your kids, and I'm losing my voice. Definitely, truly, indeed. Stay blessed, guys. Peace.
Heart been broke so many times, I don't know what to believe. Mama say it's my fault, I